Why in the world is that happening? Why is it peeling right off the card base? Okay, here is my card for day 6, and as you can see, I used the embossing folder on the top and bottom edges of the card. And what I did to achieve this lighter colored effect on a darker colored cardstock was I took a piece of cardstock, in this case it was this rust colored cardstock, and I've taken a piece of black cardstock here to demonstrate, and I've used the embossing folder along the edge. And as you may note, there is a raised portion or a positive side to the embossing, and there is a negative side to the embossing. So I'm just going to show you how I created the colored effect. I took Distress Oxide Kitsch Flamingo. You can choose whichever color you like, of course. And I just took it, and all you have to do is make sure that you line it up with the edge of the color. You don't go over the side of the You don't go over the edge that you've embossed. And I can't do this on camera perfectly, but as you can see, just with 2 swipes, it looks decent. And I'm really pressing hard here. I'm not doing it lightly. So you can do it as much as you want and not worry about it going into the crevices. So that's what it would look like. I can do it on the negative side to show you what it would look like over there. Well, that's kind of pretty, isn't it? Wow, I don't know which one I like better. This one gives you more of the color, and this one gives you more of the design, I guess, or I don't know how you want to say that. But anyway, so the important point to note about this is I'm using the Distress Oxide because oxides will show up lighter on a darker colored paper. So that's how that was achieved. And you may be wondering, where did this die cut come from? Well, this came from the Spellbinders Beautifully Imperfect die cut sentiments. There was a bird in there, and I thought, you know what? I don't have a lot of time today, so I'm just going to plop down this die cut, and I think it looks quite nice. And the little stars are from the die cut that came from the bunny popping out of the hat die. So I just cut a bunch of black stars and randomly put them inside the embossed design, and then I just kind of sprinkled them across the paper here. And if you want to know how to get things sort of perfectly imperfect, just take these little die cuts once you've cut them and just throw them down onto the paper, and where they land, you can fuss around with them a little bit, but sometimes it just looks more natural if you just toss them down rather than to place them, because I notice that sometimes when I'm placing them it looks forced, I guess is the word. Anyway, so I used some foam tape to prop up the bird die cut. And one last thing I want to note about this card is that I was about to show it and I was looking at it thinking, oh my gosh, what is happening here? The card is peeling right off of it's peeling right off of the card base. Okay, so why in the world is that happening? Why is it peeling right off the card base? And that's because, my friends, when I used this piece of cardstock, I forgot that it came from this pack of cardstock, which, as you can see, is a textured adhesive. So everything in here is a sticker, basically. It's nice for when you're cutting out letters or die cut sentiments, because you can just peel the white backing off and then it becomes a sticker. But I used the entire piece as a backing, and now look at what has happened to my card. I'm going to have to cut a whole different card base and just start all over again with that. So I just want to say to all my crafting friends, do not be too hard on yourself. That is why I start my videos off with some type of blooper, because it seems like every single time I make a card, I have done something silly. And, you know, we're all just trying to get along in this crafting jungle, and none of us are perfect, and we should not be too hard on ourselves, and that is what I'm trying to convey with my bloopers at the beginning of my videos. So another thing I wanted to mention was somebody commented that my cards are a little more advanced than just using the elements from the calendar. And the reason I do that is because I have a lot of crafting things that I don't get around to using. So I enjoy this time of year so that I can use all my things that I've bought and haven't used yet. So I get a kick out of doing that. But I don't want anybody to feel as though they can't make a card with something that they found in the calendar. Even if you just take color inspiration from the card that I'm showing you, you know, that's something that can help you when you're designing your own card. In this case, what I would like to tell people who think, oh, I don't have these die-cut sentiments, I can't recreate this card. Well, no, maybe you can't recreate this exact card because maybe you don't have this colored paper or this die-cut, but instead of this die-cut, just pretend it's not here for a moment. Put any die-cut character. For example, you could put the bunny popping out of the hat here instead. Just anything could fit here. From this card, let's just take the fact that I embossed the top and bottom and I put the stars on, and then put something else in the middle, or maybe put the stars in a shape, a square or a circle, or don't put them randomly, or use a different color of ink on the bottom of the paper. Make it your own if you like. If you want to copy it completely, go right ahead. That's great too. But I just don't want anybody to feel as though they're disappointed that they can't make these cards. This is just meant for inspiration for everyone to take something from. If you just take one little thing from this card and make it your own, I'm happy. So that's it for day 6. I will see you later on day 7. Please subscribe to my channel if you are interested in seeing the rest of the series. That's all. Bye-bye.